It is March 20th of 2020, Friday. We've been a little bit slow getting videos out, so I really just don't know what this video is about. I just wanted to say hi to everybody and see how everybody was doing, let everybody know that we're doing all right. Our videos are slower, our comments are down a little bit. We're watching a ton more videos than even regular though, so everybody keep sharing the great content that we're getting a chance to hang out with more. I don't know, the social distancing, that's how me and Angel kind of live our lives anyway, so it's kind of the same for us. If anything, we might have to go out once or twice extra than normal because we're looking for certain things sometimes. But I just want to remind everybody, I don't want to talk about that aspect of it too much. Maybe just an update, but remind everybody, be good people to each other and hang in there. We love you. We're having a good time still firing into this yard and this growth season. We want to do a 300 subscriber thank you video coming up pretty soon, but Angel wanted to be a part of that and she's busy right now. So this is UT and I just wanted to kind of update you on a few things really fast. We'll start off over here. This is a stand that's in our living room. Just a bin, seed starting tray, and these are some peppers we started recently. Something happened with a side of the tray and we're not quite sure yet. A lot of this stuff I'm going to show you, the projects and stuff, are falling behind, but so we replanted that backside and the sprouts are coming up on the replant. What we think happened is that she sank them a little too deep, and so they weren't able to break free like they needed to. Plus we've been having a little bit of issue with crusting on the top, so you gotta kind of break that soil loose so it doesn't really get in there. But this is the other side of it. They're doing really well. They're gonna have to be transplanted pretty soon. We use a double cup to transplant them, and then after they get big and their hardening off mostly happens in April. But just a seed starting tray. This is a bought seed starting mix. I'll show you guys some more stuff in just a second, but this is where we kind of start our major projects. So we'll be starting tomato trays like this. We might not be using the stand. The stand might become like a workbench. Another good idea for a workbench is we have this sled here, and we don't take kiddo sledding on this sled. It's so fragile, it would probably only be good for little tiny hills at this point, so we prefer inner tubes if we sled, or stronger sleds. When they go into the double cups, this is another thing right here real quick. These are dollar store pots, and this is a old tray, so we just kind of threw our own makeshift tray together. Gardening stuff is starting to disappear from the stores. Angel was talking to somebody earlier that was looking for some Jiffy potting mix that was completely out of a Home Depot, and she kind of used her knowledge to explain to him how you can use the coconut coir and the perlite. So they were going to give that a try. I thought that was really cool. But this is dollar store pots that we've had for a year or two, and just kind of set them out until they filled the tray up. We're probably going to be planting squash and cucumbers and things like that. We're going to go with a little bit more bulk for the center of our yard, with the east wall being peppers and the west wall being tomatoes. I'd like to do an update on the yard video too. So if we are slow getting videos out, it's kind of a sign of the thing. We're safe, everything's going well. Kiddo's home from school, so I see a great opportunity to teach him some things while he's here, and also to be a good parent and help him through with whatever. There was an announcement earlier that for the schools there would be no repercussions or demand for them to finish the standardizing and stuff like that. So I'm guessing a lot of parents are going to try to pull back from that. They're going to not push through with it anyways if they have the opportunity, because there's going to be no repercussion to them not learning that stuff. But that's just personal opinion. This is where the transplants go. These are ornamental peppers. We've been pulling little peppers off the ornamentals, and the dwarf tomatoes as well. We're probably going to need, these ones are cresting over right here. We're probably going to give these to a farm market vendor. And some butter crunch lettuce, some Brussels sprouts. I don't know why we planted those. We've had those seeds a couple years and we just threw them in there. We also put multicolored chard in here after the moringa didn't go. We only tried one of the moringa seeds. The rest of them went out to pasture in the yard. Some celosia that Angel saved from seeds we grew last year. So we just have these bins, and then we use the 6-pack method. We just clip some of the clear cups we get from the dollar store at the bottom. Sometimes we put a cupcake tin. If it's a tomato, the roots are really voracious, so I'd use a paper towel because the cupcake tin will make it so the roots can't spread out. And then these cups for underneath, and try to Tetris them together a little bit to make sure that there's that gap, holes in the bottom of the clear cups, and allows you to bottom water. Some more of the dollar store pots. We've had these actually a couple years though. We haven't bought much stuff this year. But just bins of 6-pack of Solo cups. These are just typical shoebox plastic things. These are shop lights that we got from the Home Depot, the double light. They put out about 4,500. So it's good for stabilizing plants and kind of helping them hang in there. But it's not as good for actually trying to like push them really far. But I'll show you a couple projects or ideas that I have in just a second. Here's what we kind of had already set aside for the projects we are trying to get ready to launch, and I thought I'd show that to you all. We save our containers so that we can fill them with water. Usually they end up out in the yard with rainwater if they're gallon size or bigger. But this is a indoor-outdoor potting mix. What we'll do with that is we'll take a bag like you would find in Cutie Oranges, or perhaps, I'll show you real fast. This bag right here, we'll take the popsicles out of it and we'll strain the soil through it so the big sticks and stuff will come out. Mix it with sand that we have, it's playground sand that we have out in the yard still that we mix outdoors a lot. But we'll put the playground sand and the strained potting soil together and then take boiling water in order to sanitize it, because the sand comes from outside, and this potting mix can also carry some things as it's indoor outdoor, as it's even been stored and such. So it's a good way to kind of try to keep the pests out if you are trying to keep the pests out. This right here, what we have in here so far is just some regular name brand seed starting mixes. But what we're also doing with the additive, the reason we do the sand in this is to help, the sand helps kind of keep the soil looser for the mix that we are throwing together makeshift. And then the potting soil also has like the fertilizers and stuff in it, but sanitizing it is super important. But it kind of like adds a fertilizer, so you're not just having fertilized less seed starting mix. This is a bag of perlite, and what we're doing with this is we are going to mix this with 2 of these, and we got both these from the Home Depot. These are hard to find. They're up on a high shelf in a narrow box that you would really not even know was there. Usually over by where they have the seeds and the succulents and the seed starting stuff. It'll be up high if your store has them. Some stores, from what I understand, don't have them though. We take this, we take it and put it into this bucket, and we'll put like about a 2 liter of water in there, and it'll puff up. And I'm not sure if I'll get video of when we do that, but it creates like a really like a moss, like a peat moss, but it's really cool to kind of have off to the side in the store. These are about $3 to $3.50 each is what we got this one for. This bucket is actually a $2 bucket from Walmart. It's actually used for cleaning, so I'm not sure about food safe, but $2 for a good sized bucket. And then we mix all that together. From this perlite here, I know it's the Scary brand, but it's got some of its own fertilizers and stuff. So all of that kind of just is to create as much seed starting as we can. Start filling up trays and planting them, running them through the workbench to the greenhouse, from the greenhouse to the bins, and from the bins out into the little bathroom, and possibly even somewhat into the big bathroom. Show you guys those ones in just a second. I love you guys. Thanks for hanging in there with me. Sorry if I'm rambling. Alright, so this is our little bathroom, the typical no bath or shower style bathroom. Super small, only enough room for one to sit pretty much. But This is some basil, some Thai basil I think it is, and some lemon basil, but they're kind of getting outrageous. We need to transplant those, and they're really easy with these stems. Even I think that we can get some good roots and stuff, but some of this stuff, like I was warning earlier, has been neglected. These are strawberry containers, and they're sitting side of other style food containers. So this one right here is the Manzano. It's a kind of pepper. It sounds a lot like the San Marzano. I think it's, instead of Marzano though, it's Manzano. But it's a black seeded, rarer kind of pepper that's supposed to be furry and good for cold weather areas. We've had problems getting these seeds to start. So if I can get one to go good, I can do really well with it. A couple, I think these ones are explosive ember peppers. Most of our ornamentals, we kind of like name what they're supposed to be, but there's so much of a likelihood for crosses. For ornamental peppers, to us, are fun projects to have. So we're not too concerned as far as true to type or trying to power grow them. Even though I think there is a place to power grow them, if you were to cluster them for like a hedge or something, that would be pretty cool, and you could produce quite a bit off of ornamentals. Even enough, in a sense, if you could grow them close enough together and well enough, there would be enough of them to compete with, say, growing just a couple bigger plants. But really cool and fun projects to have is just the ornamental style pepper plants. It's Kiddo's succulent. There's some sort of jade or something growing in there with it. This little pepper dude protects it. This is actually, okay, this is another story. This is Kiddo's potatoes from last year when we grew potatoes. The battery's flashing too, so I might have to cut and come back, but they were left in the cupboard all cold season, and I looked in there and the eyes were just going crazy. So I put them in this container on top of a bed of soil, and then kind of just misted it a little bit. And I noticed that they were still going to make it. They were starting to shrink and shrivel up a little bit, but then I come in and I laid soil on top of the eyes. And I had all the eyes face into the sky, and with that soil on top, been kind of wetting it a little bit, but it's insane. Those are all roots. I know it's probably not showing up right, but that's insane. So that's the potatoes from last year. We won't need to buy any potatoes. And that is the Mini Bell, the Lemon Ice, dwarf varieties, the Mr. Snow Dwarf. Little beans, onions in here are struggling, but when I do a yard update, the ones out there are just kicking it, and like they're doing well, really, really well outside. So these ones, I think we can snap them back. We're worried about filling in the more soil, like we really kind of feel like we need to, because Angel planted a bunch of chives in there, and the chives are trying to get to go, and we don't want to smash them over quite yet. This is tree lettuce, and it started getting too big for the bins out there, so I put it in here, and it's really kind of weird how it's vining. Everything I've seen on these, they almost look like they grow like trees, and I guess these are eating for the sprouts. So when these decide to flower or stop growing, we'll clip them down and give them a try. It's not a legit try or a legit grow, it's just something we didn't really know a lot about and we wanted to give a shot. And I think these would actually, if they grow like this, or you can get them like this growing out in your yard, they would make a really good nitrogen fixer, almost like a bean, because this is beans coming up the avocado tree here, and this is the tree lettuce over here, so it looks like it's trying to be a bean. This is a Tiny Tim tomato. It's getting a little bit leggy. This is a couple Meyer lemons that me and Angel have had a couple years. We grow those as just look. They'll also be in here in the bathroom. If you break one of these leaves off, it makes the entire bathroom smell like lemon. So pro tip, I would say, because in a world where you have to wipe with your hand, the man growing lamb's ear rules the land. And this is a dwarf purple heart tomato and a dwarf peppermint stripes. But battery's about ready to run out. I'm going to go ahead and swap it over. Sorry if I caught the corner of my garbage. Look at right there, solid gold. Avocado tree, we finally got the double branching off the top. It's kind of thriving well as well. So this is our little bathroom, shows a lot you can grow in these small spots, but I'll try to cover the last little bit in just a minute or two, but just an indoor update. Love you guys, catch you in a second. Man, I hope I can edit some of this video out so it don't get too long for you guys. This is a bag of Epsom salt we got from a Walmart. It's about $5 or $6 for an 8-pound bag. We use this as a fertilizer, not as a sole fertilizer, I wouldn't advise, but as a good relay to kind of give your plants a little bit of a snap as you try to hang in there through the hardening off process and then into the season. But we just take our buckets like this, and we prefer the wide mouthed ones, because what we do is we put about, for every gallon we put 1 to 3 tablespoons. I would say me and Angel, we put closer to 3 or 4. It's hard to overuse this stuff, but it's considered a natural source for the plants too as well, and you wouldn't really think with salt that it's a plant fertilizer, but me and Angel swear by it. It works really well. We see results from it, and it helps keep our plants sustained, even because we always grow things so early. But we put them in, we'll probably put like 2 or 3 into this right here, just a juice jug, and the top's good enough that we'll take this dollar store water toy and then put it in there, and we're able to pull the water, and then as we go and try to water plants that are inside a bin or something, we're able to go down into next to the plant, because we have to do a lot of top watering when plants are going too far, because to pull them up from the cups exposes all those roots and everything else like that and leaves a tangled mess that can cause a lot of problems. But this is just ways to relay mostly, I guess, what this video is turning out to be. Catch you in a second again. Alright, so last room for a quick update, or a long update. Another lemon tree. This one's kind of kiddos, but we also plan to give this to a family member if we ever get an opportunity to. But it's about 2-3 years old now, actually. That is Angel's transplanted her philodendrons, I think they are. Really cool variegation on the leaves. This one struggled for a second being the main part and not really having any roots, so it had to build more roots. These ones had roots attached to them. But we were confident that one would, and it is striking back, even though it kind of looks a little bit shady right now. The Warnecki, it's a kind of Dracena. That'd be a good thumbnail right there. A couple, this is a Lemon Ice and a Mr. Snow, the tops of the ones down there, and they are starting to form roots. I need to change that water out more. That's our biggest problem that we have had with rooting, is neglect. Because we always overwhelm ourselves. We don't have a plan. That's why we always try to say, you know, research what we say instead of necessarily believing in it, or try to stress that each person's microenvironment's different. There's the spider plant. It was really kind of weird about this, because we watered it recently, and a big earthworm came out of this little teeny tiny pot. And we had known it came from there because it came right across here and then was dried out trying to get into the sink. So we watered this. Maybe it was a little bit too much water for it, but that was I was kind of surprised. It was like a big old night crawler. But our indoor ones, these are more of our house plants and our, you know, sustaining ones. Some of these will go outside, some of these will go to other people. And then as we start to flood our other areas, when things kick up, which I'm guessing is in April, we are getting a little bit of lag. Our projects are full steam ahead. It hasn't started showing roots yet, and I've actually tried to change the water a little bit, but it's not. Struggling, and it's been there for a minute. I think the sands really help and keep the fungus and stuff off that can come from a little bit of neglect that this one's gotten, but it doesn't necessarily allow the roots, because by scraping it off kind of in the sand, it's also kind of keeping the roots from pushing out. But it's got some really weird nodes, but I'm not sure if those are roots. It's almost like little calcium deposits or something. And I'm not sure if we've used any Epsom salt water to fertilize that. And then there's the Mimosa. It knows when it's daytime and nighttime, whether the lights are on or off. It doesn't seem to respond to light, it seems to respond to timing. And it's trying to reach over because this part right here is kind of shady. We need to get the heat lamp going. The little bathroom downstairs is really almost like a desert environment. It gets super, super hot and can dry things out really fast. So as long as you can, you know, manage or micromanage a little bit more than normal to keep things the right way, you want to kind of keep the plants that can get stressed out a little bit more down there. Up here is more of a tropical one, especially when a shower's taken or something. The steam and everything else really creates like a tropical humid environment for it. But let's see if it's willing to. This video's getting long though. I love you guys. I just wanted to check in, let you guys know we're doing good. Kind of do a roll call and see who else out there was doing all right. Me and Angel are here. Social distancing's our middle name. It's actually not our middle name, but we love you guys. Catch you next time. Thanks for watching.